Train the muscles, not the joints.
Welcome back to Natural Glam Bodybuilding, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to vary up the reps within one workout, because I just had somebody ask in the comments about how to change the rep ranges up within one workout, and they started to give me a little bit of a theory of how they would do it, and I saw some glaring mistakes in this just because of just the way the body works. Okay, so one thing I want to get through to you is that certain things will not be possible for your body if other things are going on. So what I mean by this is that if you are fatigued, you will not be able to use the epitome of heavy weight, right? You will not be able to perform at your best, right? For instance, in sprinting, you will not be able to run 20 kilometers and then go do the 100-meter dash at optimal speed, right? You're going to be fatigued. Your body will not be able to fire the muscles as strongly or explosively, and therefore you will not be able to run as fast. And it's the same thing when it comes down to rep ranges and weight training. So although you do warm-ups, I didn't mean do, but you do perform warm-ups, the goal of warming up in a workout is not to fatigue yourself so badly that you cannot perform at optimal performance, right? At optimal levels. You want to use the warm-up to get the blood flowing to the area, to make sure everything is lubricated, to make sure the muscles are stretched and flexible and warm, but the goal is not to fatigue yourself, obviously. So because of this, for the most part in a workout, I'm going to say that if you're going to mix the rep ranges up, what you would do is the higher intensity sets or higher amounts of weight to failure in the beginning of the workout, and then you would end off with the higher repetition sets at the end of the workout or after you perform the heavy weight. I know it makes sense for most of us, but for a lot of beginners or intermediates, sometimes this doesn't make sense. They're like, oh, why wouldn't I just do all the rep ranges? Well, because you will not be able to lift the heavy weight in order to hit those fast twitch fibers if you're already fatigued. You will not be able to lift as heavy of a weight or hit the same intensity level if you've already hit exhaustion from repping out too much. Now, I'm not saying there can never be any sort of reason for you to do light weights first and then move on to heavy weights just because you know that, hey, I'm working with my fatigue factor, you know, energetic pathway or whatever. Yeah, that could be a technique for sure. Like you could fatigue yourself and then work with heavier weights and not be able to get as many reps, but for some reason it is tearing down the muscle in a different and new way. I'm open to that, of course. But for the most part, generally speaking, you would do the heavy weights first, like the 5 rep sets or the 8 rep sets or the 12 rep sets first in the workout or in the beginning, and then you move into the 20 rep sets or 25 or 30 rep sets or whatever at the end of the workout or after, okay? So I hope that's clear. Now, there are also exceptions to this rule. In some cases, you might want to start with a certain compound movement, but because of injury problems or because of joint pain or because of technique problems, you may want to use a more conservative weight when doing such exercise. And remember, the first priority is to avoid injury and to make sure the body is healthy. That's the first priority. So sometimes you will be guided to say, hey, I got to stick with a higher rep set for squats, for instance, because when I do too heavy of a weight, it hurts my lower back or hurts my knees or whatever. So then you might be guided to do a higher rep workout when it comes down to your squat workout. And then, yeah, maybe after, when you do your leg presses, you might be guided to do heavy weight because now there's not as much of an injury risk. So of course, avoiding injury or making allowances for injuries always supersedes any of these rules, obviously, right? So first and foremost, protect the body. Secondly, then efficiently use your rep ranges, right? So sometimes rep ranges do need to stay higher with certain exercises just to avoid problems. I talked about this with isolation exercises at length in a video, where isolation exercises, you just never do them for the most part, in the 5 rep range or the 7 rep range, because there is a greater capacity for injury with isolations when you use too heavy of a weight. So bearing all these other rules in mind, generally my rules apply when it comes down to the heavier weight first and lighter weight after. Mountain. So I hope this helps out in your training. I hope this helps you understand how to structure the rep ranges for the most part. In general, you know, like I said, there's always exceptions. And thanks a lot for watching. And if you need to get hold of me, just go to naturalglambodybuilding.com. And thanks to the patron supporters, and take care for now. Mountain.